Good morning, boys and girls. What do you notice different this morning with Mrs. Gopo? That's right, the hair salons have opened and I now have a haircut, so you can see my eyes. So, what are we going to learn this morning? Well, today we're going to learn how to use negative words. And boys and girls, this is very important because many people make this mistake. What is a negative word? A negative word, let's first start with, what are the double negatives? Two negative words in a sentence is called a double negative. And what are negative words? These are some examples. These are not the only ones, but these are some examples. Not, nothing, nobody, never, nor, neither. Any word that has to do with no or not are negative words. And we can use them. There's nothing wrong with using them. But what is wrong is having two negative words in one sentence. That's a big no-no. For example, look over here. Never use double negatives in a sentence. Here's an example of a no-no. I don't have no friends. What do you think that actually means? And many of you use this all the time at school. I don't have no friends. I don't have no pencil. Actually, boys and girls, when you say that, you actually have friends. So whenever you say I don't have no friends, you mean you do have friends. So if you want to say that you don't have friends, you cannot use two negatives. Let's see if you can find out what are the two negative words in that sentence. I don't have no friends. All right, you're correct. You said don't because don't is do not. Remember, that's a contraction for do not. And no is another negative word. So there's two negative words in a sentence and you cannot have that. So what do? How do we correct this sentence so that we don't have two negative words and we can still say the idea we're trying to communicate? Well, you're right if you thought we need to only have one negative word. So how can we do that? Instead of I don't have no friends, we could write one of two things. We could say I have no friends. We could remove don't and just simply say I have no friends. Or we could say I don't have any friends, because see, the word any is not a negative word. So we could use it then. The important thing, boys and girls, there's a couple of ways that you can correct a sentence. The important thing is that you do not have two negatives. You're only allowed to have one negative word in a sentence in grammar. It's incorrect grammar and it confuses people. And if you do have two negative words, basically you're saying the opposite of what you want to say. If you want to say if you want to say that you don't have a pencil and you say I don't have no pencil, that means you have a pencil. So if you want to say you don't have a pencil, you must only use one negative word. I don't have a pencil, or I have no pencil, I have no friends, or I don't have any friends. All right, that's what we're going to work on today because that's a common mistake in grammar. And so today we have two worksheets that we're going to work on to practice: the monster grammar and the double negatives. Let's just do one so we can practice. Find your double negatives, the ones with the cookies on them, and look at the first sentence. And there you see, boys and girls, if you read the top later, you'll see exactly what we were talking about here. Not using two negatives. Look at number one. It says, read the sentence below. Choose and circle the correct word in parentheses. Be sure you don't create a double negative sentence. Look at number one. There aren't blank cookies left to eat. There aren't any cookies left to eat, or shall we use there aren't no cookies left to eat? Go ahead and circle what you think. Well, hopefully, boys and girls, you circled there aren't any cookies, because the word aren't already has not in it. See, not is in aren't because it's a contraction. So you cannot use two negatives. Well, the correct way to write the sentence would be there aren't any cookies left to eat. Okay, let's do one more. Look at number two. I didn't do nothing over the weekend, or I didn't do anything over the weekend. This is a common mistake. I hear a lot of people using this. And not just children, adults too, boys and girls. How can we correct this? I didn't do anything. Correct, because if you use nothing, you're now using a double negative. The negative with did not, which has not, and nothing, which has no. So we use one negative and one positive. I didn't do anything over the weekend. And that sentence makes sense. So remember, boys and girls, double negatives are a big fat no-no in sentences. We never ever use double negatives. Only one negative word. Because when you use a double negative, you are actually saying the opposite of what you want to say. All right, boys and girls, I will see you again very soon. Have a great Thursday. Bye-bye.